What makes one an exceptional presenter? Is it flashy visual? Is it the tone of voice? Is it the actual message or content? Or does it have something to do with body language or gesture? Our stand today, we want to talk about this latter point. How do we use our body effectively to communicate our message? Because we have so many great ideas here, but if they remain in our head, they don't actually link up with the audience, our message. In a meeting, the body language can take over from the message we want to communicate. If we lose sight of what our body is doing, people can pay attention to the body itself. It can be a kind of distraction, but the body language can be your superhero. When you change is to become your superhero in the sense that we can utilize it to enhance and communicate with every person in the audience. Today, we want to talk about three important points. Odyssey is going to get us started and talking about how posture brings success. Mizan and Alina are going to talk about gesture to strengthen the message. Finally, Shirain is going to close us out with how we think about the body posture of the audience and how to interact with them.
Communication begins before you even open your mouth to speak to your audience. First impression of you is your posture in your position, and so it's important to know both how to stand as well where to stand. You should stand facing the people you are talking to. Do not stand facing your visual and turn your back to the audience. That's not what we want to do. You can communicate that way. It is also important to know where you are standing in the room. A position of strength in this room is somewhere in the center box. As long as you are moving around in the center, you are doing pretty well. If there is a window and outside these windows where could be bikers or a car passing by, your reaction would be to look up at the window, and that will break your concentration and our conversation, and we don't want that either. Now that you know where to stand, it is important to know how to stand, so we're going to demonstrate a few positions, a few bad positions, and that we have seen is that you shouldn't do. The first one is hands in your pockets. This comes off as nonchalant. Your shoulder tend to roll forward, and it's very difficult to convey a strong message from these positions. Second one is hands on your hips. When your hands on your hips, you tend to look overbearing and powerful. The third one is the fig leaf position. This is where you look timid, and it's especially bad when you decide to gesture from this. I want to show you something. You look like you're flashing the audience, and that's not a good thing. So, how should you all stand if I could actually get all of you to stand? I will lead through a short demonstration and on how to find your face posture. What you have to be mindful of the people next to you, and place your feet hip width apart. Close your eyes and look up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes, look up towards the ceiling, and lift your hands above your head, both hands. To get a good stretch, this one, and open your eyes, look down in this. This is your base posture. This is your base posture. When you open your eyes, look down, this is your base posture. Thank you very much for participating. Now you have found your best posture. This is where you should gesture from, and is where you should return to when you are finishing gesturing. It may not feel the most comfortable, but it's not the most comfortable to your audience. Remember that your posture and positions are the audience's first impressions, but now that you know how to stand still, it's time to learn how to move.
Gestures are important because it helps you to communicate better. For example, if you use gesture, the audience will remember twice as much. It also helps you in the future speak because it helps you memorize when you speak. Also, beside the transition, your hand and your arm movement are the biggest movement that the audience can see. I'm going to show you 3 types of gesture. First is the give, second is the show, and the third one is the chop. I repeat, first is the give, second is the show, and the last one is the chop. Right? So here are an example. I went to this communication class and it was so great that my skills are improving. I think this was the best class I've ever taken. Right. Let's rewind and see what happened. The gift to this, okay? The gift. I went to this communication class. This gesture is used to give the audience the fact of the option. Remember to have your palm up, not down. Your palms up, not down. Right? This kind of gesture has the largest variety, and your imagination is the limit. Just remember that the gesture and the message have to match. They show that I can feel that my skills are improving. For example, you can say profit are rising with a gesture like this. You cannot say the profit is rising. That is wrong, right? So, and then the second, so concretely and creatively, the chop, okay? The chop. I think this was the best class I ever taken. Okay? This is the class, the best class that I ever taken. This is to stress it that the class that you attend is very, very impressive, right? So you can either use one hand or two hands, one hand or two hands, right? So next time when you do gesture, think about these 3 types: the give, the show, and the chop. Right? Thank you.
Another subject is having your palms out. So I'll give you an example. People on the right, please rise and move to the left. As we slide down the list, people on the right, please rise and move to the left. One more time. People on the right, please rise and move to the left. Can you see the difference? Which one would you think people will move? Yes, of course, the first one. According to study, if you have your palms up, 84% of your audience will comply to your instruction. If you have your palm down, only 52% will comply to your instruction. And if you point to your audience, only 28% will comply to you. Therefore, never use your finger to your audience. It looks just arrogant. Last but not least, avoid this timid gesture. For example, people on the right, please rise and move to the left. Always remember that what matter you do, this is always look silly. So loosen up a bit. Always remember that gestures are there for you and the audience to make a deeper connection. So far, we have talked about the audience, and now it's time to focus on you, the audience itself. Thank you.
As Odyssey, Mizan and Alina described, we have been focusing on body language of the speaker. But let's not forget who is the real hero here. As we learned in our class, it's not me, the speaker. It's you, the audience. Remember, It's you, the real hero, the audience. But what happens when the audience doesn't realize that they are on this hero's journey? Have you ever seen an audience that looks like this? Have you ever been that audience? It's okay, we all have. Whether we are playing on our phone, falling asleep, and nodding off looking at the clock and calculating can we make an escape from this room? We have all done it, but the thing is the speaker's responsibility to understand what is going on with the audience, and body language is a powerful way to assess them. Okay, as a speaker, we can be focused on our own body language that we never even notice what the audience is doing, and it's important to change that. So, I want to share 3 strategies for how you can engage with your audience better by developing more observational skills. So, first of all, absolutely be using the gesture and body language tools that we have talked about today and over the course of the quarter. But the second thing is to notice. Okay? Remember, second thing is to notice. Of course, you are going to be looking for eye contact, but look beyond it. Look at how your audience members are sitting. Are they fidgeting? Are they moving? Are they leaning forward, looking engaged and taking notes, or they are zooming out? If your body language, your eye contact, and your efforts are being compelling or not working, then you can go deeper. You can try to surprise the audience with a question, or use some humor, or you can disrupt the audience. As students, we have been called, but we know it's effective, right? So, Odyssey, what is your favorite color? Blue. Okay. So, as we all know, it's the fastest way to re-engage with the conversation with the speaker, so don't be afraid to use it. It's so important to keep your audience on track because they are the hero and it's the journey. And our job as the speaker is to keep the hero on their journey.
With that in mind, I think we talk about 3 concepts that really remind each of us about how body language is your superpower to stand strong and engage effectively with the audience. Thank you.